glad that they made this cross-platform.
Yeah, it's the way that all multiplayer games should be, if you ask me.
Yes and no. There's some I don't think work out fairly.
Maybe,
but mostly being first-person shooters.
Fair enough, but I think if you use an input restriction, like just have lobbies that you can join that are only mouse, keyboard, or only controller.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that for sure. But I think in general, sometimes, then you also have people who are more than willing to go out of their way to cheat the system, shall we say.
Yeah, but that will happen regardless of whether a game's
Zims and Cronus and all that kind of stuff.
But that does happen regardless. Like, cheating is going to happen whether a game's cross-platform or not. And I just think that it immediately becomes, or the argument kind of immediately becomes irrelevant once you say, okay, but what if it's cross-play that you can opt out of if you want? And I think at that point, it's like, well, what is the argument against that at that point? Because it's like, no,
you're right.
I only want anyone to be able to play with other PlayStation players or something. I'd be like, why? Like, what if two friends just happen to own different systems and they want to play together? Why should they go out of their way to make that not an option for this game? In conclusion, crossplay good, according to me.
I don't disagree. It keeps games' lifespans longer. Kind of like I was telling a buddy of mine I was playing Tekken with one night that it's amazing how not video games, but fighting games have changed over the years.
That was a close one.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Ow, that actually really hurts.
Yep, that's why I was trying to do it for the entire match. It's the match winner for Zangief. It's actually why people say modern controls are kind of bullshit for him.
And let me guess, it's easy to pull off.
Well, yeah, because you do it with one button.
Man, that's no good.
I mean, I appreciate the modern control as like an entry-level thing, and at the same time, I think that maybe the classic control could use a few more advantages over it. Mostly you just have different power level of special attacks as the main difference, because you don't have all three punch buttons and kick buttons in modern control. So Kimberly hits like a feather, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't really have somebody as quick as she is with the multiple hits that she can pull off, also hitting like a Mack truck.
I know, it seems like she's quite underpowered. Like, I'll get like really solid combos in, find I did like 10% damage. It's like, wait, I almost would have been better off just waiting for more solid hits that did more damage than even bothering with those combos at all. Because they're not easy to do, so if they're not really putting in that much damage, it's like, why do it? Like, what's the point of the effort?
Well, the fun thing is, I know at one point it might have been Street Fighter 4, or even might have been 5 too, where they kind of got rid of all the charging supers. Like his flash kick, I have to hold down and push up.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
his supers, back in the day, the supers were all just based around what the move was. So for like Zangief, you got to do pretty much a 780.
Yeah, 720 spin.
Yeah, 720, yeah. So, double fireball motion for Ken and Ryu and so on. But I know, for example, Razor Fist lamented the fact that they changed how Vega plays. Because he was a Vega man. Yeah,
because Vega, they switched to Z patterns for 5. They seem to have gotten rid of all the Z patterns in 6, though.
Okay.
Which sucks, because I was playing 5 and made a point of practicing the Z patterns because I figured that I'd need to learn them for this, but no, it was not the case.
Do you remember the back in the Street Fighter Alpha days, you would get a different symbol depending on how you won the fight?
Oh yeah.
But if you corner trap somebody and just beat them down by just fireballing them into the corner and just killing them because they blocked too many fireballs and get a little piece of cheese.
Nope, you've got to hit return to custom room. I hit rematch by accident.
Whatever happened to just, you know, I get it, but it's one of those things where it's like, you had to change that up. You couldn't leave it how it used to be, could you?
It's been like this in Street Fighter 4, where both people have to select rematch for there to be a rematch. Otherwise, the one person has to select go back to character select or something to that effect.
Maybe I'm just getting old and crotchety. I mean, my comic stream is called Comics with Curmudgeons, after all.
The battle of the midriffs.
Right?
Female versus whatever Jamie is exactly.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure on that one.
He's male, but I don't know. I think you could probably make the argument that he doesn't identify as a man. At the same time, he might just be sort of a, K-pop looking Chinese guy, because I believe he's Chinese. China doesn't have much of a pop scene though, so I don't know. Not sure what explains.
Not that we know of, anyways.
Well, I mean, I guess I suppose that's fair. Although I feel like if they had any good music, there'd be someone that has been like, hey, man, like you should check out this Chinese pop band. They're actually really good. Pretty slick ending.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.